What's up, fellow collectors? P-Rock's Little back again for another review, and today we're going to take a look at the Mondo Batman, the anime series, Batman Once to Scale collectible figure. As you know, I already did a review just recently on the Catwoman, and I mentioned in that review that I dove into some of the Mondo figures because just going off of like what I heard from other reviewers and other people in the community, other collectors, that the Mondo figures are just kind of their separate category in the scale collectible community, but in a good way because they're more of the representation of the, the cartoons you grew up with and how they look identical to what you remember, what you saw on the screen when you were a kid. And going off my review from the Catwoman, I have to say I do agree with them so far. So I'm happy to get this guy open right here because this is the main character of the Batman anime series, obviously Batman. And Mondo, when he first came out, he sold out. I think they did a reissue version or a repaint version or something like that. That went pretty quick. So they recently put more in stock. So I had to jump on it real quick before they sell out again. So just wanted to make sure I got this figure in hand soon before they went out of stock. So I'm excited to open this figure because I did have fun with the Catwoman, as it did look like she jumped right out the screen. So I'm looking forward to see if this guy right here jumps out the screen. So let's get this review started. Dale. Tequila. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box before we get the figure out the box. Right in the front, you do get this beautiful art piece of the Batman anime series, Batman right there with the big chin. When I first saw this cartoon, I wasn't a fan of the big chin. But as I started watching the cartoon, like the bigger upper body and everything, I started watching it more and more. It grew on me. It has his own style, his own personality. So, eventually I like it. And now it's like an iconic version of Batman. You see this version of Batman, you know it's from the anime series. But anyways, nice picture right there in the front. Mondo right here. DC right there. Silver bar right there. On the side of here, you get the Batman anime series, Batman Wants to Scale, DC, Batman logo, Warner Brothers. You get the cool Batman with the city there. Same thing on the other side. You just get the picture of the Batman anime series. And the back, you get the city drop. All the people who were involved in the figure. And then a cool thing you do get that I learned from the Catwoman is you do get this flap. Let's take this piece out. And has a little saying here. So I'll bring this up. You can pause if you want to read this. And then right here, you get the figure. You get a nice little window to see the figure there. And look at all those accessories, man. And this is not the deluxe. This is the regular version too, I think. Well, yeah, it is the regular version. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get this Flash from the past out the box. And once you get the figure out the box, let's get the box out the way. This is what you greet with. One clamshell. We take that top cover off. Move this plastic around. And there you go. There you have the figure. All the accessories, man. There's a lot of flashes, like from episodes, iconic episodes. I see right there, the VHS tape. Remember that episode? Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get Bats out the box and all the accessories so you can take a close look and find details. Everything he does come with. Now we have Batman laid out with all the accessories that come in the package. And it's quite an amount of accessories and this is what I do enjoy so far with the two, or this is my second. Like I said with the Turtles too. The Turtles did come with a lot of accessories too. So many accessories that I wasn't able to display them all with the accessories. So this is one thing I do like with Mondo is like if you're a fan for accessories, you take a lot of pictures and you want to have like different poses or different pictures with your figure using different accessories. This is a plus with Mondo because you get all these accessories here. But of course, let's take a look at the figure first. And this is Batman. I can't do his voice, hit the cartoon voice. So I'm not even gonna bother trying right now. So I'm just looking at it. Now, one thing I am gonna point out, having this in hand, this blue in hand pops a lot brighter. So like it's even like borderline like a purple bluish in like at least for me under these lights. It looks like a royal, like a deep royal blue, like borderline, like I said, purple. Right here's more bluish, but right here it looks a little more purple. And then the cow is, a soft plastic. I'm pretty sure there are some customizers there could somehow make a cloth one, but I'm not sure if you want to do that with a cartoon cell shaded type of figure. Probably, I'm not sure how that would look. For posing capabilities, yeah, that would look better, but obviously you're limited on posing with this cape because you can't really pose it much. But yeah, man, this looks like Batman straight from the cartoon screen. Oh man. The unit detail, the upper chest, how big that was, that dang chin. Let's see if they put some. You can't really put the cowl too much up there. You get a DC right there, DC Comics. This is what S22, so 22. All right, so let's look at the articulation. So Batman can move his head this far to the left, this far right. He can do full 360, but I'm not gonna do that right now. He can go sideways he could go sideways. All right, and then he could. Let's see how far up he could look. He could look a decent amount far. I wish he could go a little further, but that's good. And then a good amount far down. I mean, this far, a good amount down. So this would be cool if they ever do like a Robin. You could have looking down at Robin. I'm not sure if they did a Robin before. I'm new into the Mondo, so if they did, please forgive me, but I don't think they did. Arms. I love the way the bat signal looks there. Nice. It's basic, but it looks good. So I'm pretty sure the arms, the shoulders are going to be kind of hindered with the articulation because of the cape. But let's see. Yeah, so exactly. So you can't really get a full... Oh, this side he could. Let's see if we can aim this a little bit. There we go. So he's got to adjust it a little bit better. So you could get a full, somewhat T-pose. And then this guy... Ooh, those joints are pretty tight. This guy, see, unlike Catwoman, he does get somewhat of a double jointed elbow. So you do get further articulation and bend at that elbow compared to Catwoman. And it's pretty cool they did that joint. It's like a little weird, but doesn't look too awkward. So I like that. That's pretty different. And then do you get swivel? You get swivel at the shoulder only. And then you get swivel at the elbow. And then you can see right there, you could do the flex right there. And then at the hands, you do get, obviously, bend at the wrist, twist, all that good stuff. Let's see how far his arms can go forward. So his arm can go that's pretty decent. I mean, wish could go. Well, yeah, it's good for the grappling hook. And then obviously you're not gonna be able to go back much unless you put the cape back more. But you gotta be careful with this. So you gotta be very careful with the articulation with the cape. But it's pretty good. All right, so let's put these arms up real quick just so you can see how the waist is. So you do get twist at the lower chest. And you do get some bend back and forth at the lower chest. No sideways. And then you do get some, I think it's some at the waist. Not really. Yeah, you do get some at the waist. It's just pretty tight there. So you do get some at the waist. So there you go. You get no ab crunch at all. So that's pretty sucky. And basically no bend back really. So looks like this Batman missed his ab days. And then this is soft plastic, but it's not as soft as as you would think. So you kind of hindered a little bit with the articulation there. Yeah, see how I pushed that leg back down? Is that paint? No, something else. All right. So that's how far the legs can spread out. Not much far. Forward. Oh yeah. Does this even go forward? So I don't even know if that goes forward or not. If that's really going forward or not. So the articulation wise, yeah, you're a little limited. Can't really do much split. But like I said, I guess going in, this is more for the look. And I knew you're gonna be somewhat limited in articulation because of the cape anyways. So let's see. And then the knees. You do get that same somewhat double bend at the knees. It can go further, but it's like I'm just putting a little more pressure. I do see more of the joint there. So I could go further. I might just warm up some of these joints. So this is, like I said before with the Catwoman, this is almost like a more premium NECA figure. This joint feels a little loose. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Huh, interesting. I'm gonna mess around with this guy some more. Yeah, so this leg right here is a little loose. This one holds up more. Like, mess around with this more. Good thing about just recent getting is if it is a defect, I can always return it. All right, so let's see. The ankles can go. Your feet can go very far down. and a decent amount far up. No there's twist at the knee and the lower knee, but no pivot. And I'm pretty sure that's it for the articulation. Yep, it's all right. So that's it for the articulation. I'm bats right here. So yeah, you're pretty limited articulation on this guy right here, but I was expecting it going in because the size of the guy, like the way the upper chest is. And when you hold him, obviously all the weight because of the cowl too and the cape is on the upper body. So I got a feeling this guy, when I do the final poses, I'm definitely going to use that standing base for this guy. All right, so let's get the accessories. So you get the hard act head. I remember this cartoon. This is a pretty cool episode. You do get that. You get the Bruce Wayne head. Look at that chin, man. Woo! I forgot how big that was. Man, look at that chin. And then you do get the somewhat smirk cowl. And then you get the more grunting cowl mask, whatever you want to call it. This is cool. I like this. I like the way they do the teeth. That's exactly how it was in the cartoon too. All right, so then you do get two batarangs. They are different. The shape is the same, but if you see the design, each one's different. This one has more of the curve. This is more of like a blade look. This, I don't remember this, but this is called the Bat Star. So you do get that. You get the cassette tape, the VHS cassette tape. Old school right here. Then you get the spray canister. Let me bring the lighting up a little bit more so we can see a little bit of details. There we go. See a little bit more of those details. There you go. Spray canister. We got some paint on my fingers. You get the goggles. This is actual cloth, like a elastic material. It actually is elastic. And then you do get the gas mask. Same type material right here that the goggles have, the night vision goggles or whatever. I mean, binoculars. All right. And then you do get two grappling hooks. You get the one grappling hook without the wire launch. And then you get the second one that actually has a bendy wire, which is cool. So you can actually have him grappling on something. All right. And this side will stick on this side. So you get the same stand. I'm sorry, the same base that came with Catwoman, which is cool. So that way they both kind of, won't stick out, at least when it comes to the base. You do get a thumbs up hand. I'm not going to go through every single hand because there's a lot of hands. I'm going to grab one of each, but you do get a thumbs up. You do get the one grappling hook or weapon hand. You do get the one gadget hand, or maybe this could be the grappling hook hand too. And then you do get, I think this is for the bat. Ooh, dropped it. This is for the for these right here. I don't know. I'll mess around with this. And then you do get the cowl down. So if you're going to use the Bruce Wayne head, you want to make sure you take this off. And I wonder if you could, yeah. So basically you'll take the head off and then you'll put this. I have this one of my final poses. You have the cowl down right here so you get the mask off. And then last but not least, you do get the stand. Crotch grabber. All right, so there's Batman. Woo! A lot of accessories. So let's go ahead and get some size comparison started. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys know real quick. This guy is a pain in the butt to stand up without that stand and base. So it took me a while to get him standing here just like that. So hopefully he doesn't fall over. And I wanted to get that head sculpt on it because I don't see myself using it in one of the final poses, and definitely not for one of my final display pieces. That's probably more of something if I'm ever gonna take pictures with them, just to reenact that one scene in the episode. All right, so let's get the size comparison started. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in, of course, I gotta bring in his Hot Toys counterpart, and this is the Hot Toys Batman. Let's bring this guy in here. And he is known for his weird ankles, so hopefully he doesn't fall either. Let's go ahead and bring another Hot Toys figure, and this is going to be the Hot Toys video game Miles Morales. And last but not least, I'm going to bring in a smaller scale figure. This is going to be the Mezco 112 Batman. I had to bring another Batman in here. Let's put him right in between these guys right there. All right, so there's a good size comparison with the anime Batman, with the Hot Toys Batman, the Hot Toys Spider-Man, or I'm sorry, Miles Morales, and the Mezco Batman. So that way, if you got any of these figures in your collection and you're thinking about picking up this Batman, you get an idea of how he would fit in your collection and in your display. Okay, let's do the final thoughts and final poses. In this pose, I want to at least get one pose with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt on there, and I wanted to see if I can get him articulate where he's basically taking the mask off. Some of a pose. So I kind of wanted to continue the pose off from the other pose, like the size comparison, where he had the hard dog head on. So basically, he's right here, investigating like what the heck was this, what's going on, just taking a look at what's going on inside. They're trying to figure out, get some clues and stuff like that. He's a detective, so he needs to get those clues and stuff like that. You can see the batarang on the floor, so he used that to defeat that version of the Batman. So anyways, I did have an issue yet again, the same issue I had with the Catwoman while I was trying to swap out the hands, where the hand actually came out with half of the peg, with the other half of the peg still attached to the forearm. I'm not sure if there's like a trick for these Mondo figures to kind of get these pegs, detached like smoothly. But this is the second figure in a row that has happened to me so far. And these are two brand new figures, never, not used. I bought them directly from Mondo. So I'm not sure. I'll find out the next two that I do reviews on. If I had that same issue, I'll let you know too, because, if that's a common trend, then it's something that, maybe Mondo should look into. It's kind of, do some QC issues in the future, like, look at those things right there. But anyways, so far, like this pose right here, I could see this in the cartoon, and the cape, that cell shading, that purplish bluish does pop beautifully, and it does look like it came straight out the screen. He is limited with some articulation. I was able to actually get him standing without the stand, just the base only there. I wanted to make sure I got the base in there, so I was able to get that done. So that's good right there. What's going on too is he's basically just heavy in the upper portion of his body and with that cape on there. So when you kind of get him on there, at least on mine, the knee is kind of a little bit, it's not like one joint. I have to warm it up because one joint is kind of stuck there. So as you can see, when it turns around, one knee is not fully bent forward, so that's kind of making issues too. So I got to make sure I warm up that knee to get that knee bent straight, so I can have better, success making them stand without the stand. All right, let's get the next final pose going right now. So far, I was able to get two poses accomplished without the stand, so I'm hoping this can be continued, because I doubted it in the beginning, so I'm basically proving myself wrong as the review goes on. And I want to get a pose with the grappling hook and it being shot to kind of show the strength of that bendy wire, where you can kind of get it posed exactly how you would want, whichever angle. Swapping out the heads was easy. I was wrong about those weird looking hands, the ones like that have the hands crumpled up. That's for the grappling hook. This time around, the hands were easy to swap out. I just made sure I grabbed the peg real good and squeezed it good as I pulled it out. So that helped out with swapping out the hands, so I didn't have the issues this time around. The legs were, I was able to pose them a little bit better now. So like I said, I'm surprised that they're staying so far. So if they drop during the review, I'm just gonna let it be because that's part of the review. So far I'm liking it, man. I mean, I understand that Batman did do flips and stuff like that, and I was expecting to get those poses with this figure when I got it in hand, because I know kind of like going after messing with the Catwoman, I kind of had an idea coming in what I was gonna get, and then from seeing other reviews and people talking about this figure, I kind of knew the articulation was limited on some of the portions because the way the design of the character is. But it does look like he came out the screen, and that is the Batman I do remember from the cartoons when I used to look forward to watching it when I was a kid. And I like the way this figure stands out, man. Like I said with the Catwoman, it does have its own place and own shelf when you have it in your 1/6 scale collection. Yes, it does look more on the toy side of the collectible figure, but this is exactly how he looked in the cartoon. So it's very accurate to me, and that's what I like the most, because I want accuracy when I get a figure that I have a fond memory of, and this is accurate to the cartoon that I watched as a kid. So I am happy the way he came out, and I can sacrifice the limited articulation because more likely the final pose I do have him posed in, I'm not gonna have him posed up all crazy and stuff like that because one, I don't want him falling over. Two, I kind of want to just make sure I have that iconic Batman stoic pose, which I'm gonna show you right about now. All right, I know I was gonna say I was gonna do the stoic pose, but I just couldn't help myself. I forgot about the head sculpt with the smirk on there and the thumbs up. And why else would Batman not be happy and giving the thumbs up, if not other than Catwoman? Look at that. I would definitely give the thumbs up and be happy about that. So I figured, my figure show my feelings and representation through my figures. And I'm pretty sure Batman agrees with me that this is definitely a thumbs up moment. And these two together is why I'm happy with this purchase, because just messing around getting like a picture like this, a pose like this done, open my eyes to like the different poses that can actually get done if I want to take pictures of these two, because there's so many accessories that these figures come with and so many iconic and memorable, at least for me, cartoon moments from the animated series that I can reenact with pictures, and even add a little sazon adobo there and add like throw in some other figures from like different, maybe throw a little Spider-Man in there or something like that, Vampirella maybe, something like that. So, but this just together puts a smile to my face. I'm like, right now as I'm recording this, I'm smiling right here. Like, this is the reason why I was contemplating this line, and I'm happy I jumped into it, because like when you have one in hand, I'm gonna tell you right now, from my experience so far, like I said, this is the two I opened so far. When I opened the Catwoman at first, I started with the lowest expectations going down. Catwoman was the least detailed, least amount of accessories. So I was like, all right, I'll start with the lowest one, not get my hopes too high. When messing around with her, she actually had fun with her, messing around with that figure. And she looked just like she came out from the screen. Now, messing with Batman, Batman was a little bit more limited on articulation, but he looks even more fresh from the screen. But they stand out more when you have two of them together. So if you're going to collect, I'm not saying you have to. My recommendation, in my opinion, if you're going to fully bring the flair and the pop of these figures, they look better when you have at least more than one, at least minimum two. Have two of these figures together, and man, do they stand out. Like, I just see it, and it's just, like I said, I'm gonna get right now, I'm smiling, man. I feel like Batman right there, because why else? But anyways, I'm enjoying this figure. I'm gonna mess around with some more even now, even before I finally get him like my final pose. Thankfully, my module cases are not here anytime soon. They're not coming yet, but it gives me time to mess around with this figure before I finally get him my final display. And I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to get to Joker and mess around with Joker too. Get some poses with Joker and Batman, obviously. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm having fun with these figures. And it even made me, like, doing a review of the Catwoman, made me go back and I actually watched 2 episodes of the first 2 episodes that had to do with Catwoman. I watched them yesterday after I finished editing the review and everything. So this is how much, memories it brings back, and it just makes me feel like a kid again. So I'm happy with my purchase. Like I said, if these are too cartoony, too toyish for you, then I respect that. Everybody has their own opinion. It's your collection, not mine. I respect that. But if you're on the fence, like I said before, if you're on the fence, if you do decide to pick one up, trust me, pick up 2, because they do stand out more together. All right, collectors and people enjoying the voice and the figures, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit that like, subscribe button, click that bell notification, and as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale, la nalga, mira.